What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to the Brighton Liverpool post-match analysis video, and in this video we will also talk about what Mohamed Salah said about that incredible free kick goal that Liverpool apparently rehearsed, and Liverpool really started brilliantly on the front foot, high pressing Brighton, who for some reason kept with their same usual game plan. But I think against the likes of Liverpool and Manchester City, you should just assess the opposition's tactics before, doing that, because it was pretty evident that Liverpool would high press from the first whistle and Brighton played out from the back from the first whistle, and they got punished big time. 2 goals for Liverpool inside the first 10-15 minutes, and it was directly because Brighton played out from the back. And I'm not just saying that they should give up on their game plan and hoof it forward, but when you can see 3, 4, 5 Liverpool players swarming around you, sometimes it's just better to get rid. Matt Ryan puts the Brighton defender into a very awkward position. His first touch is pretty awful, and then his pass is even worse. Naby Keita nips in, he passes it to Mohamed Salah, and I felt it was interesting because Firmino could have scored, but he left it to Salah, who actually is the best player in Liverpool's top scorers chart in the Premier League. So it looks like Firmino let Salah basically have a goal, but I think the moment of the game came in the 8th minute when Salah gets a pass from Firmino. Again, Brighton lose the ball in their own half, this time not in the defense but in the midfield, but still Liverpool were in there directly into the throat of Brighton's defense, and Salah tees up Jordan Henderson, who scored a goal which reminded me of Steven Gerrard in his prime. Do you remember when Steven Gerrard scored that goal against Marseille in a 4-0 Liverpool win? It was very similar to this goal that Jordan Henderson scored. Maybe some of the older Liverpool fans can remember. I think it was maybe in 2005, 2006 or 7 when Liverpool scored and Steven Gerrard scored that, and a magnificent goal. And this Jordan Henderson goal from another Liverpool captain was equally as magnificent. He just curls it past Matt Ryan into the near post, when I think he was giving the eyes to the goalkeeper that he will shoot to the far post. So it was absolutely brilliant start from Liverpool, 2-0 up. And Brighton, to be fair to them, they didn't crack under pressure, they didn't crack under 2-0 lead, they kept playing their usual game. And they could have actually scored earlier than what they did. Alisson had to make a couple of really good saves. Leandro Trossard, I thought, was the most dangerous player for Brighton, and Neil Maupay also got into good positions. Alisson had to make a couple of good saves. Liverpool didn't look as solid defensively, but also you have to take into account that Neco Williams, the 19-year-old Scouser, made his full Premier League debut for Liverpool, his first start of his Liverpool career, and I felt that going forward he did really well. He had some shaky moments against another youngster, the Brighton right back, Lamptey, I think his name is. He used to play for Chelsea, but he didn't get much opportunities at Chelsea, so he signed for Brighton, and he was a really bright spark for Brighton, I felt. And Neco Williams, sometimes he pushed a little bit too far forward. Lamptey was in behind the Liverpool defense. Also, Brighton scored in the 26th minute, but it was ruled out for offside. Van Dijk and Gomez stepped up brilliantly and held their line, and the Brighton player was offside. But otherwise, I think that Neco Williams had a pretty good half, maybe because Jurgen Klopp, the reason Jurgen Klopp substituted him is he was already on a yellow card and he looked pretty much exhausted after 45 minutes running up and down the pitch. You have to take it into account that he's not used to the frenetic pace of the Premier League. And also, Jurgen Klopp said before the game that Andy Robertson needed a break because Robertson was injured for 10 days in this mini pre-season before the lockdown ended and before the Premier League resumed, and so Andy Robertson didn't have a proper pre-season, and maybe that's why Jurgen Klopp rested him, and not maybe that's why Jurgen Klopp rested him for the first half, but at halftime Robertson came on for Neco Williams, And I really am very excited about this kid. He reminds me of a young Trent Alexander-Arnold, and it's weird I'm talking about a young Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's still young. Trent is 21 years old, but he seems like a veteran next to Neco Williams, and it just shows that Liverpool have a direct route to the first team with Neco Williams, Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones. Liverpool could actually save close to £100 million if these kids turn out to be like half as good as Trent Alexander-Arnold turned out to be. Liverpool honestly have a very good like 3-4 young players in their team who could actually, I think, do an absolutely magnificent job for Liverpool in the future. Bobby Firmino looked a little bit rusty. Again, he had a chance in the 31st minute, which he just scoffed at the goalkeeper and he couldn't save it. And then the moment of the game for Brighton came when Lamptey raised down the right wing. He crosses it brilliantly to Leandro Trossard, and he slots it home with a first time half volley into the far corner. Alisson had no chance, and there was just a big gap between Joe Gomez and Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Trossard came in that gap. Maybe that was a little bit of a defensive lapse of concentration, but Liverpool in the second half came out and really started playing better than in the end of the first half. I mean, the start was brilliant for Liverpool, and then Brighton came into it. And then the second half was a similar story, but in the last 10-15 minutes Liverpool really upped the tempo of the game, and especially like the last 20 minutes of the second half, Liverpool were the better team, much the better team. But Brighton actually should have scored when one of their defenders scuffs a shot just like 3-4 yards from goal. Alisson, I'm not sure if he would have saved it, because that shot was awful, and otherwise, I mean, it's a pretty much an open goal for the Brighton defender, but because the ball was wet, it was raining, he just couldn't get a proper connection on the ball, and Liverpool finally seals the victory from an Andy Robertson corner. And Mohamed Salah himself said that Liverpool rehearsed this 1 and 2 days before the game in training. Salah actually explained the formula that resulted in that direct corner kick goal. We trained it yesterday and 2 days ago, and finally Robo gave me an assist, so I'm happy for that. That's brilliant. So yeah, Liverpool, it looks like, trained this, that Salah will attack the near post and Andy Robertson will try to put the ball in there, because not many people expect Mohamed Salah to go for a header from a corner, but he did. And Lamptey, one of the shortest players for Brighton, was the man marking Salah, and he was just woefully short, and Salah heads in an absolute bullet header into the bottom corner to make it 3-1 Liverpool, and that was game over. Trossard probably should have scored another goal, but overall Liverpool were slightly the better team, but Brighton could have scored 3 or 4 goals themselves as well. Liverpool could have scored 4 or 5, so I think Liverpool deservedly won this game. And that, I mean, the goals were lovely, especially the Henderson goal, but this corner goal, I really liked it as well. Liverpool are, I think, the highest scorers from corner kicks this season, and that's a far cry from the early days of Jurgen Klopp, when Liverpool were really struggling from set pieces. We hardly ever scored from corners. It was just a waste of time most of the time. But now with Jurgen Klopp and with these new training methods, Liverpool are actually very effective on the corners, and we are actually the highest scorers. I think we already have like 10 goals from direct corners this season, correct me if I'm wrong, and that's absolutely brilliant. I'm really happy with that. And Jurgen Klopp said this after the game: it was a difficult game against a good opponent, a deserved win, job done in big parts of the game, well done, but not in all parts of the game. That's how it is. I think we started really well, we finished really well, but in between we left the door a bit too wide open for Brighton, but only because Brighton was really good. They played really good football, took some risks in the formation. Some of them were really threatening counterattacks, so we had to block twice in the box. In the end, we conceded a goal. I said to my boys at halftime, it is a good game for both sides, but they deserved their goal. We had to adjust a few things in the second half, make a few things better. We had a better chance to score more. That was the situation. We had to adjust a little bit in the positions of the wingers, but it is difficult for their build-up. We had a specific setup, and that changed immediately in the moment when they didn't build up and it didn't work always perfectly. It worked perfectly for the 2 goals, but not in other moments. And Jurgen Klopp was asked whether Liverpool can surpass the record 100 points in this season. What can I say? When I think about the next 4 opponents and I look at them and think we will get 12, 10 or whatever points, I never did that. I can't do that. We play against Burnley, who are a result machine. I couldn't respect more what they are doing. They played away, they won against West Ham, they will come to us and they will fight with all they have. So that is what we have to do as well. After that we play Arsenal, who are in a really good moment. After that we play against Chelsea, who are also in a very good moment. How could we assume we will get all these points from these very, very good teams? I think from now on about the Burnley game, and when I think about 92 points, I think, okay, how could we get 97 last year? That's unbelievable. And we play Champions League always in midweek. We needed luck in moments, like last year against Newcastle with a header in the last minute from Origi and stuff like this. It's how it is, but first and foremost, you have to fight for the 3 points. That's what we did tonight again, and I like that. I like that a lot, because that is the mother and the father of each win, that you really work hard for it. The boys did that again, and that's great. Salah is a striker, Jurgen Klopp continued. How can scoring not be a motivation for him? And also, Liverpool broke another record. We have 250 goals combined from Salah, Mane and Firmino for Liverpool, which is absolutely brilliant. In the last 2 years, Salah won the Golden Boot. Last year he shared it with Sadio Mane and Aubameyang. It's always important. It's important for Sadio. In the end, you can only score goals when you perform well, and he did that tonight, so that was really good. If you are too focused on goals, which they aren't, then you don't move enough. That can be in the right situations. The goals we scored tonight, they were really good. We had a lot to move to score the goals, so that's nice. We could have scored more, that's true, but that's pretty much all of it. The 250 goals for 3 players is exceptional. Imagine where I would be if these boys did not play for me. Wow. The situation minus 250 goals. And Naby Keita was again absolutely great. He's getting better and better step by step, game by game, and Jurgen Klopp said that's really cool. Absolutely, I'm really happy about that. Long may it continue, let me say it like this. When him and the boys stay fit, then everything is fine with the quality they have. The way we play suits them. Tonight, being a player like Naby, winning these balls, come on, as the coach I am, I couldn't be happier about these kind of goals. Everybody is involved in that, and I'm really grateful for seeing things like this. And Jordan Henderson, we got an injury update to say about him. He got a knock in the second half. He said, Jurgen Klopp said, I don't know how serious Henderson's injury is. I didn't see the situation back on the pitch, but I know that it will not be nothing probably. That's how it is. But we have to say, I cannot say more. Jurgen Klopp, after the game, he was doing press interviews, so he didn't really see how Henderson was straight after the game. And Joe Gomez said that Liverpool are a work in progress. We are not the finished article. And he said this maybe 5 years ago with some of the points tallies that we are getting now. If you knew they had been achieved, you would say there's no chance. I don't know if it's possible to carry on losing 1 or 2 games a season, but I think consistency is what we are striving for. I just feel that the bar has been set so high that maybe it's difficult to carry on emulating that level of consistency where it's 100 point seasons every year. As a group, we are trying to maintain that consistency whereby we can continue getting results, and I think that's what is so good about this year, that regardless of whether we got the results, sometimes our performance might have lacked a few things or not being quite the way we wanted it to be, but we still got there in the end. We still got the result. I think continuing to keep that level of desire to win and finding a way to win while maintaining high levels of performance week in, week out is obviously what we can strive for now. We are far from the finished article, and we've got a young, hungry squad that hopefully can keep on learning. It's real, and at times you probably do take it for granted. As players, we are just sort of in the moment and our thoughts are on the here and now. It probably is record-breaking, speaking to family and supporters, since something we will reflect on in years to come, to be thankful that we were part of this team. I know I feel that way, that I am fortunate to be part of our current squad under the manager that we have, and the fact that we have been able to achieve those things over the course of this year. That's what we play football for, and it will definitely be a year that I know we will look back on with great memories. Hopefully we can continue to emulate that sort of success. Obviously football isn't plain sailing, and we have been lucky to have had that opportunity to be in those finals and get those medals, but I think it's hard to reflect on it in the moment because it's so continuous. This last Premier League was definitely special, and one that will be in my memory for a long time. Obviously Joe Gomez is talking about this season, and that wraps up today's first video, but I have many more to come for you guys, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. See you later guys. Goodbye.